the debut episode of the ShElite Showcase. I am your hostess with the mostest, Katie baby.
Baby. I was like, I have to take over on that now.
And you really do. I'm so sorry. You have that
No,
burden.
it's my pleasure.
I am joined by my co-host, the newest member of the Smackdraw fam, one of the nicest people I've ever met in my entire life.
Stop.
The one, the only, Miss Y2 Garcia herself, Savannah. How
Hey,
are you?
Katie. I'm doing all right, actually. I'm a lot less nervous than I was earlier.
Yeah, this is your first like official show?
Yeah, I got a few practice runs from being like a guest. Like I recapped Raw, and then I was on Smack and Raw. So I got a couple practice runs to
Yeah.
get ready.
I mean, shout out to Smack and Raw for basically giving you
Yeah,
your
for tolerating me.
for your quote unquote official podcast debut.
Podcast debut.
I kind of fought with Matt about it because technically I think I gave you that, but we'll give it to him. We'll give him that honor.
I'm like, you're the reason I'm able to do this as a whole, though. I was just the little guest, and now I am the co-host.
That's
What
a
a promotion!
That's a promotion, baby. That's what that
Yeah.
is. Did you like the intro I gave you? Was it long winded enough?
Yeah,
Do I need to
I
add
liked
more?
it. I liked it, and I'm glad you called me by like my little nickname, like by my user, because in case you don't know, by the name, I like Chris Jericho. And
I never would have guessed.
yeah, if you go on my Instagram, I don't think you could ever guess. Especially if you go on Chris's Instagram, I don't think you could ever guess.
No, I mean it's not like underneath your name right now, or underneath your video picture, whatever this is. Jesus. Um, for those watching live on twitch.tv/SmackDraw Podcast, or watching the video on youtube.com/SmackDraw Podcast, or if you're listening to where you can find your audio podcast, if you're a person who likes to listen to those, I prefer watching. What about you? Do you prefer watching podcasts, listening?
It really depends because like if I'm not doing anything, I'll watch. But then there's another podcast that I love to listen to while I'm editing, like not videos because I need like my I need my hearing for that. But
Yeah.
like when I'm doing photo edits or like when I'm doing even homework, I like to listen to this podcast like on audio. It just I don't know, it just helps me get by.
Do you have a
So I'm
favorite
like,
one you do?
what do you mean?
Like a favorite one you listen to? Like any specific podcast? Or is it kind of just.
Oh, yeah. The one that I'm referring to that I can listen to like while I'm editing or doing homework, whatever, is the Elite Maniac Show. They're a podcast. They recap AEW, I believe, and it's co-hosted by one of my good friends, Kings Road Wrestling. So if you want to check them out, you definitely should. Their podcast is incredible.
I
So.
will. I'll add it to my list of wrestling podcasts that I watch and listen to.
I mean, this podcast doesn't need a shout out, but I always listen to Talking to Jericho. That's like my go-to. I would listen to that in school, like when I should be learning.
Ma'am.
Okay, can I let you in on a secret?
I'm listening.
My freshman year of high school, I ditched class so I could go listen to an episode.
Are you?
And and here's the best part. I tweeted that to Chris and I said, "Is it bad that I, skip class so I could go listen to this podcast?" And he said, "No, that's encouraged." So he replied to that. So I'm like, it must have been okay then. Chris said it was fine.
Jesus. So, welcome everybody to this. This is the all-female driven show I have been pushing for since I joined this podcast almost a year ago.
That's crazy. It feels like you've been doing this forever.
I know.
Like, you're just a natural at it.
Stop.
I'm just telling the truth. Everyone loves you.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know why and I don't know how, but
I can give you a whole ass episode's worth of reasons why. No. But we don't have that much time.
We do not have that much time. I mean, we probably do. But would people really be interested in you hyping me up constantly? No.
Yes.
No. Stop. So, for this being the debut, we're going to do something, like, different. I guess I should preface this. This isn't going to be a typical recap show. We'll mainly do like a brief overview of anything BTE, the matches on Dark and the matches on Elevation, because Savannah and I met because of the Young Bucks, which is also why our name is ShElite.
Yeah, so, or like as Kyle said, this with the super chick party, I thought that was fucking cool.
I do like that.
Like in our I was like, oh my god, because like it reminded me of the Young Buck shirt that's a super kick, super kick, super kick, super kick, super kick.
Yeah.
Super chick, super chick, super chick.
I mean,
I was like, oh, I love it.
If we ever get merch, which we should get merch, like ShElite merch, Kyle.
That should be one at least.
And it's like I want one. I'll make it myself.
Definitely, yeah. I know, right? I'm like, I'll make that shit. Like, I can go on Photoshop right now and make it.
100%, I can do that. I can put it on a tank top. Like, yeah. I am wearing the, if you're watching the video, I'm watching the, Those Wrestling Girls tank top. Shout out to them. They're also just a female wrestling podcast. They're super sweet. So I had to buy it, represent them. But that's kind of what we're here to do. Put up and over women in wrestling. Talk about that. Exactly. We are two female wrestling fans, both in our early 20s. One freshly 20.
I know, I was like 20, like I barely just passed it. It's like my foot's just over the line.
That's okay. You're a female wrestling fan in your 20s.
20's 20. I know.
Oh my god.
I'm totally in my 20s.
That's okay. I act like I'm still 16, so it's totally okay.
Like, I act like I'm 12, so it's fine.
So for this, we're just gonna briefly talk about ourselves, and talk about the NWA Women's Pay-Per-View that is coming up in August.
It's August?
Yeah, August 28th to be exact.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Don't worry,
yeah,
we'll get
be in
into
school
all the
by
details.
then.
Ew. School?
Yeah, I know.
College? Gross.
I know.
I'm happy I'm out of that because I can't do schooling anymore.
I'm so close to being. No, I say that I have like 2.5 years to go.
It's honestly gonna fly by. I'm telling you.
I know. It's like when I had braces, 2.5 years.
You only had braces for 2.5 years?
I was supposed to be 2. I just didn't wear my rubber band, so it pushed to 2.5.
So it's your own fault for wearing them for 2.5 years.
Yeah, it was just supposed to be 2 though.
That's okay.
You know what? I blame that for being the reason why my wisdom teeth fucked up. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, I'm not a dentist. I'm not Britt Baker, so I don't actually know. DMD. I don't know how people actually watch this.
I don't know. Actually.
I don't know. I just watched the playback and I still don't understand what I just did.
I love how Tony Schiavone does that with her. Like, I love how he's like her biggest fan.
As he should. Everyone needs a Tony Schiavone / Paul Heyman to hype them up.
Yeah, for sure.
I have one of those. Only sometimes when he wants to be nice.
When he feels like.
But let's just talk about you and I before we talk about anything else.
Ooh, okay.
Don't worry. Nothing bad. Justin's in the chat. Hi, Justin. Excuse me. So, we both put on social media to ask us questions, whether it be wrestling related or not. We're only gonna do like 3 or 4 just so we can talk about other things.
Yeah.
So, I have one that I already know the answer to.
What is it?
Who is the bigger Adam Page fan?
Oh, I wonder who that is.
I don't know
who that is.
I don't know.
Oh, wait, I wonder who that is.
Pulls down all of her figures.
I wonder who that is. Hold on. I think, Katie, you have me beat. I lost the thumbtacks. I'm gonna
Jesus.
Later. But yeah. To answer the question, I think Katie has me beat.
I totally ever beat. No, as soon as I got that question, I was like, that's amazing. Because I literally call you my hangman.
Exactly. We're the Adams.
Exactly.
Hangman Adam Page, and Adam Cole.
Baby. That's me. So I knew that one was a given, but I kind of wanted to see your reaction to it.
Oh, was that a good one?
That was perfect. Now you have one.
Yes, I do. Let me. Oh shit.
Oh,
Let me
Jesus.
pull it up really quick.
I'm kind of curious what the one that you got is.
What is your favorite and least favorite part about the internet wrestling community?
Oh God.
There's many things that I do not like about it, but I'll start. Should I start off negative and then end positive, or just start off positive and then just bring it down with the negatives?
You can do whatever your heart desires, whatever you feel is
Okay.
right.
I guess I'll do negatives because there's more of them, so I can just say like the one positive at the end. But first of all, this one's a given if you follow me on Instagram. The fake New Japan fans who pretend that liking New Japan and watching it, or like, I don't know what some people like. I've seen it everywhere on the internet. Like, if you pretend that you like New Japan wrestling or that you watch it, it's supposed to serve like as an accolade or like as something to flex on. Like, oh, I know wrestling so much because I watch it. But then like you can kind of tell by the way they like talk about it or like their favorites. It's like so super typical. Like, oh, my favorite is Jay White. I'm like, oh, of course it's Jay White. It's probably the easiest name to pronounce. He's probably like the most well-known foreigner. He's the current leader of the Bullet Club. Of course it's Jay White, you know? So that's one thing. And one of the biggest things about fake New Japan fans is that they pretend that they've known Kenny Omega since his New Japan days but then they don't know the difference of when he was the cleaner and when he wasn't, or they don't even know, like, you know, that the fact that the cleaner and the One Winged Angel are completely separate characters. So that's one thing that's a personal thing that just grinds my gears so much. And I guess another thing, I guess I'm going all personal here. I don't know. This is just from personal experience from what I've seen.
Okay.
But this one is kind of like personally like something that I've experienced like as like an individual, as a Jericho fan, like a hardcore Jericho fan, is that it's like what I've, at least the Jerichoholics that I've come to know, it's always a one-up battle. It's like, oh, you know, like, oh, you got a notice? Well, look, I got this notice too. And it's like, I don't fucking care. I just love the guy and he gave me a notice and I'm happy about that. That's all I care about. I don't care what you got. I don't care how many you've gotten. It's not about that to me. It's about the fact that like he just recognizes me as a fan, and I'm sorry, but that's all I care about. I don't care how many times he notices you. I don't care if he follows you. I don't care if he remembers you from this. It's like, worry about you, I worry about me.
Exactly. And
again, it's just there's a few off the bat I immediately think about. I'm not saying names, obviously.
Yeah, please don't.
But like, you know, I talk about like, you know, if Chris messages me on a story, I'm gonna like mark out and shit. But then they're gonna be like, oh, well, you know, he liked my comment on this, and then he replied to it and shit. And I'm like, I don't fucking care. Like, I don't care. Like, he mentioned me in the story. I'm obviously happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
Leave it alone. Like, I didn't ask you how many times he's noticed you. I didn't ask you, you know, what like accolades you've gotten out of him. Like, it's just something that I'm personally happy about.
Yeah, as you should be.
Exactly. And like, people, again, it's a one-up game. And it's like, I don't do it because I'm trying to be the best fan per se. I'm just doing
you do it because you're happy it happened and you're a huge fan of
exactly.
whoever it may be.
He just makes me happy. Like, it's like I don't know how else to explain it. He just he makes me happy.
So should I do my negative, and then we'll both do our positive?
Go ahead. Let's go with that.
Negative thing about the internet wrestling community, not the other IWC that I know of. Which again I will tell you later.
Okay.
It's probably like and like I hate saying the word like toxicity, but it's a lot of like in most cases it's older male fans. A lot of times it's also like young kids who think they're hot shit can start talking.
Yeah, but there's someone who's older than me who I know who pretends they're hot shit, but I'm not getting into that. That's a whole other can of worms.
But it's stuff like that, or trying to put people down for liking a certain person or a certain thing,
or like something that I've seen, sorry to interrupt,
no, go ahead.
like something that I've seen, like putting people down when you said that, is like I've seen it happen where someone like makes an edit of, doesn't matter who, but then they comment saying like, oh, my edits are better, like this sucks and stuff, like just because, or I'm a better fan than you. I'm like, what's the purpose of that? They made an edit, they're proud of it, they
And that's all
shared
that
it.
matters.
Exactly. Why do you have to bring them down? Is it because you're like self-conscious about your own edits, or your own like, you know,
I mean,
your own stuff?
it's stuff like that. That's like the main thing I hate about it, especially Twitter, because Twitter just becomes this
There's a
cesspool.
reason why I'm never on Twitter.
Yeah, but you really need to be more now because
I know, but it's not by choice. I only go on as the only reason I've been on Twitter as of late is because of the Young Bucks, and that's just because I want to see what they put as their bio. I'm like, you know what?
or
I just
you
want
should be because this show, and that's how I also contact you.
I know, but it's like no, it's because like I get the notifications for that, but when so I know like I need to open up Twitter and go to that. But like
Yeah.
when I voluntarily like let me go through Twitter is just to see
Yeah,
what the Young Bucks put as their bio.
I know, but just be
I
on
just
Twitter a
think
little
they
more.
Omega
It
roast
makes my
haters,
life
that's it.
a little easier if you're on Twitter, just a smidge more.
I know.
But
I'm
yeah, so
sorry.
mainly like the toxic fans who try and put other people down or just want to start shit for no reason.
Oh,
Because I know
Jaylee's
too many
here.
of those
Hi,
too.
Jaylee.
Yeah, I said hi to her. Positive thing.
Positive. Well, first of all, the wrestling community is the reason why I've been able to do this. Like the internet wrestling community.
Mm-hmm.
And internet wrestling community is where I've met some of my best friends ever, like you, Jaylee, who's here, Brooke, me and Brooke are like this,
Yep.
And without that, like I think about before COVID even happened, or like even before then, I was kind of by myself. I had my dad obviously, but like he didn't watch AEW. He doesn't watch New Japan. He's strictly a WWE guy, which is fine. I'm not here to like shade on my dad, but like it's the fact that like I have someone to talk to about this now. And then like, there's I'm not safe for work stuff that I like to talk to you and like Jaylee and stuff about. And I have never been able to do stupid shit like that if it weren't for the internet wrestling community. So because of that, I've met some of the best people, some of the worst people, but all in all, it's the reason why I've really been able to like express my love for wrestling, whether it's merch picks, whether it's podcasting, whether it's, showing off my wall, like this would have never happened. Like the walls would have never happened if I was never active, like in the internet wrestling community, because it was kind of like encouragement. It's because like for example Jaylee, she's not only the one who got me into the Young Bucks, but because I saw her walls, like I think I want to have one too, so I made my own Bucks wall, like inspired by Jaylee's.
I mean, technically, I have to give a shout out to Jaylee. She's the reason we met.
She is the reason we met,
because we did that. What was it?
Don't Rush.
The Don't Rush one, yeah. Because
and
our love of the Young Bucks, exactly. So.
And again, like if it weren't for her, I wouldn't even like the Young Bucks. Like I didn't hate them. I was just like, oh, they're just another tag team. I was never really into tag team wrestling, but because of them, I got back into tag team wrestling. Yeah. I started liking tag team wrestling. WWE is not much help there. So the Young Bucks definitely gave that love for tag team wrestling that I have now, and it's all thanks to them.
Yeah, I mean, so it's that, and then like I'll agree with you. It definitely has like brought me like close to people and gave me this new this is a new family I have. I mean,
exactly.
I got to meet you and Jaylee and everyone else from Instagram, like Brooke, Jermaine.
And, like, our Smack Drop family.
Exactly. So, like, Matt, Kyle, Kevin, as much as he pisses me off, Reek, Justin,
he's like that cousin. He's like that cousin that's just like that, but you still love him to pieces, Like, and it's just kind of like, because they're like that, you just know, like, oh.
Kevin and I have always had this love-hate relationship. I lean more towards the hate side, but that's okay. But yeah, so definitely just like that's the one positive about the internet wrestling community is it does bring like people together.
Well, yeah, who would have known that I would have been such close friends when people like in fucking Pennsylvania,
shout out,
Kentucky,
Pittsburgh,
Ireland, Katya's in fucking Italy.
That's true. Like, Katya is in Italy.
We have international friends now.
Yeah.
Not just national. So not just Americans. Now we have people overseas that are like our close friends.
Overseas.
And it's only because of the internet community, the wrestling internet community, that this was possible.
Sure. And then the last question, because I feel like that just, I feel like we just popped off for a second. That's okay. That's why we're doing this.
And that's why it's the first episode.
Exactly. This one's gonna be different, so it's okay. What is the moment, match, or wrestler that inspired your love for wrestling? Now it can be one of each, a culmination of all three, or just one specific one. Go ahead. I know you have it in your brain already.
Well, for sure, love for wrestling was like, I guess it's like not wrestler, but like my, like, this is like, I guess like, this could be a moment. It's not exactly a wrestling moment, but my dad would show me like matches and moments in wrestling. That's what got me into wrestling in the first place. But what like sparked this absolute like obsession, if you will.
Yeah.
If you can guess, if you can take just a wild guess, it was Chris Jericho.
Never would have guessed.
His first book, it was the first wrestling book I've ever read, and it made me laugh, it made me cry, it made me feel inspired, and it just sparked this love, not just for him. I guess with him it's kind of like an obsession at this point, but my love for wrestling all started from him. If I could say a match or moment, probably not, only because like I would just watch for a long time, and I just remember I liked Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
So
that's a completely valid answer.
So I guess you could say the book is like what really sparked it, because it came out like in 2008.
So like the book, and then your dad kind of showing you stuff as you were growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, like growing up, I have memories of. There's a baby picture of me somewhere. I don't know where it is. It's literally, I have a bottle, or I think I have a binky in my mouth. I'm in my crib, and I'm wearing a Stone Cold shirt.
That is so cute.
So I really wish I knew where that picture was. I would post it if I had it right now. So I just remember, like, I grew up watching it. My older brother, who just turned 30 today. So I know he doesn't watch this,
well,
but
happy
birthday, Cody. He's also
brother baby.
He's actually in Vegas right now for his 30th, ironically enough.
Nice.
I'll be there next month. But I just have like fond memories of like watching the Buried Alive match with Taker and Kane, like the Royal Rumbles, like fond memories like that. But I think like a specific match, if I can find the picture, I will show it, I promise. The specific match is always gonna be Lita versus Trish, main eventing Raw.
Yeah, that's absolutely historic.
Like,
it's kind of what made like women feel like I can do like anything, like
100%.
Wrestling's not just for guys,
100%.
And that's kind of one thing that inspired me, because people think like that's a dude thing. I'm like, I don't give a shit if it's a dude thing, like or like I don't just like wrestling because I think they're attractive. I'm like, no, okay, like,
I watch wrestling because it's entertaining and a lot of them are attractive.
Exactly.
That's the second point. It's not the first.
And like here's the thing also, like let's say like for example, big example is Kenny Omega. I mean, I think Kenny's attractive. I fucking love Kenny. Everyone knows that. But like when I show my sister who doesn't watch wrestling, doesn't know anything about Kenny, I show her pictures and she always goes, dude, he's so fucking ugly. How do you like him? I'm like, you know what? But that just goes to show like it does. And not just that, but it just goes to show that it's not about like being attracted, if you will. It's not. It has nothing to do with that.
Dude,
it's
you keep punching your mic. Are you okay?
I accidentally swiped it when I went like this.
You talk a lot with your hands. You're like me.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna flip the mic one day.
Flip the whole thing. Ow.
I'm gonna smack the boom and it's gonna go woo.
Jesus. So yeah, that's a little bit more about Savannah and I. Now you know kind of where we get our love for wrestling. Everyone leaves immediately. See you guys later. They turn the video off.
That mic slap scared them away.
I mean, you were very aggressive with it. I might have to ask you to calm down a little bit. Ma'am, you gotta think about the audio listeners, man.
I know. Sorry, audio listeners.
It's okay. I always hit this now. Now that I have the boom, which everyone has like the boom that goes like up and around. I don't, so I feel very out of place.
Like, what do you mean? What does yours do?
Mine's just like as I just hit it. It's like
Oh,
attached to the bottom part of my desk, and I can move it like this way, and then like kind of up and down.
I think that's how mine is too. It's like attached to like.
Yeah, but you like you did the fancy thing and like put this like over top like that way. I wasn't a fan of that personally, but it looks good for everybody else. So I'm just gonna be the odd man out. And
I just like this because I can use that as an excuse to cover my face if I need to. See.
I mean, you saw me when we started the stream where I literally had it up in front of my face so I could type on this computer.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Like in case I need to censor something. Or if in case I'm not able to throw on a face of makeup, I can just like, all right, guys, let's start the podcast.
I would not let you do that anyways. Savannah,
Why?
you look beautiful with or without makeup.
Ugh. Well, I have a lot of scratches like on my face that you can't see because God bless concealer, but like that's why for sure I had to throw on a face like that, and because I wanted to match my shirt. But...
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. So what the show is typically gonna be? It's gonna be, you know, a little intro, a little back and forth like we've kind of been doing. And then we're going to do just any breaking news that happened within the last 24 hours. So so anytime from Wednesday to Thursday at 9 p.m., which is when we go live.
With the exception of like being the elite, right? Because like that happens on Monday.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to briefly talk about stuff that's in continuity with Dynamite or like Rampage, which is coming up soon. So.
Yeah. So the breaking news stuff, because then we're going to have a whole nother... that's gonna be Kyle's thing, a whole nother news type show.
Like recap. Is it recapping or is it like news?
Well, he's gonna. So we have the recaps, which that's gonna be live Sundays. I don't know what time they do it, or they're gonna do it. I know they have to switch things around because this weekend's July 4th. So, but just keep an eye on our Twitter at SmackDrawPod. Why can I never actually remember what we are?
And you told me I needed work, ma'am.
Listen.
I'm
trying my best.
I got promoted to co-host. You've been hostess.
SmackDraw Pod. Listen. News and rumors. Thank you. SmackDraw Pod. I can never remember if it's pod or podcast. Leave me alone.
Yeah, that's the thing with me too. I'm like, I know the general, like it's SmackDraw, but is it pod or podcast?
Exactly. No, it's not all the same. But that's okay.
Exactly.
So, yeah, Kyle will have his own news and rumor show, and then RN will have his RN rants. And then...
Those are going to be good.
Those are going to be so funny. I can't wait. So for us, it's going to be just any breaking news within 24 hours. We're going to do Wrestlers of the Week, male, female, and tag teams, and why we each personally think, or why we each personally picked that person or those people. And then we're going to do... This is the AEW quote-unquote recap. We're just going to do anything that happened in BTE, or on BTE rather, that affected or was in some way, shape, or form shown on Dynamite, since we usually go the day after.
With the storyline.
Yes. Like the Hangman Dark Order stuff.
It's gonna happen!
It is gonna happen.
Hangman's gonna be champ soon. I'm so happy. Wait. That's why I wore the Hangman shirt today. I was gonna wear a Jericho shirt because, you know, I'm Nyte Garcia, but I'm like, no, this is Hangman's time.
No, you gotta put the good vibes out there. Good vibes.
The man hasn't won a singles title since the Indies. He needs it.
It's gonna happen, baby. It's gonna happen. Don't worry.
I'm like, everyone says, like, in New Japan, everyone's like, Jay White gets screwed. Jay White deserves better. I'm like, this guy, Jay White's won the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, the Never Openweight Champion. He's the current one. He's won the IWGP United States Championship. I'm like, he's not been treated badly, okay? Yeah. Hangman has never won a singles title. He's always been thrown into a tag team.
Yep.
And then loses the titles, and then that's it.
Yeah.
So here in AEW, he's gonna get his first singles title.
Yeah. He's gonna be champ. So it's gonna happen this year. Don't worry.
It's gonna happen all out, and I keep telling Brooke that it's gonna happen all out.
It's gonna happen all out. But then, Matt. Oh, thank God! Now I don't have to watch shitty YouTube shows. Now you really don't have to, because we're gonna do that, and then I'm gonna run down the match card for Dark, and then the match card for Elevation, because it is a lot of wrestling in 3 hours, and a lot of people don't have time because they're also watching Raw, NXT, Dynamite, SmackDown, possibly Impact, NXT UK. Do people watch Ring of Honor still? I don't know.
And then Rampage is gonna come up this August.
And then Rampage, which I'm gonna be at the debut episode of Rampage.
And then I try and keep up with New Japan, and unlike, you know, I guess technically like WWE does show 3 times a week, but it's different brands. You know, it's Raw, SmackDown, and NXT.
Yeah.
New Japan's all one whole
One thing, yeah.
and they have like 2 to 3 shows every week, and then they have the pay-per-views. So I'm like, that's
It's a
hard
lot.
to keep up with. And then on top of like the North American wrestling here, it's tough.
It's tough, yeah. And then another thing that we're gonna do is a today in women's wrestling history. Now, some people don't actually know this. So when I first started my wrestling Twitter, which if you're watching the video, it's underneath my video, right there. That's me.
Katie Wrestling 13.
That's right.
WRASSLIN 13.
That's right. Thank you. Thank you for saying it for me. I usually just hate saying it because I'm lazy. I would always do that would be my Twitter thing. I would just do like today in wrestling history, and I would find a match card from whatever year, whatever day. But then I was like, nah. And then I started tweeting about Dynamite, and then I got a podcast, and now here we are. But
and then we met.
And then we met, and here we are. Thank you, Justin. He just popped in and say congrats on the new show. Thank you so much, Justin.
Well, thank you.
Justin Heel Tactics. I gotta specify, not Justin from Getcho. There are 2 different Justins. But I went ahead and found one for today. So July 1st is when we record this. Serena Deeb signed a WWE contract in 2009. Went on to be a part of the Straight Edge Society with CM Punk and Luke Gallows. She's, for those who, it's like the name sounds kind of familiar, she's the fan who got her head shaved. She was then released in 2010. There has been reports saying she didn't, quote, live the gimmick, and that's one of the reasons they fired her. I don't know if that's actually true, but that's some of the reports I've been seeing. But then, look where she is now. Former NWA Women's Champion, killing it on AEW.
I'm like, I think that's where she's gonna go now. I feel like she's gonna be full-time AEW probably, or like at least show up a lot more often.
Because I think so. Like Thunder Rosa is technically still with NWA.
Yes.
And I think Deeb is signed with AEW, or is gonna be.
I'm not exact. I think she's going to be. I think, or maybe that's why she lost the title.
I mean, it's possible. Can someone, people in the chat, like Matt, Kev, Kyle, someone, can you look it up for me if she's actually signed? Because I don't remember. I think she is, but then part of me is like, no, she's not. But like crazy on how that she was signed in 2009. I keep thinking I'm talking with my hands a lot, but it's not shown.
Yeah.
So my hand's over here
so
and I'm still talking. Yeah, so she signed in 2009, and then, what, like 11 or 12 years later, she's killing it.
I was gonna say, you said she got released in 2010, right? Because she didn't live up to the gimmick.
2010.
Well, I was gonna say, that's 11 years ago.
Yeah, 11 years.
Look where she is.
And she was a trainer at the PC for a little bit. The Performance Center, for those who weren't aware. She was, and then she showed up in the Mae Young Classic. And then she started showing up on Dynamite or Dark, and then I think I remember telling Kevin, I was like, yeah, this is, like, that's why her name sounds kind of familiar. She seems kind of familiar, is because she was in the Straight Edge Society with Punk.
Yeah.
Wiki says she is signed to AEW. Deeb signed with AEW on September 21st, 2020. Yes.
Oh, nice.
Genius.
So now look where she is. She is like the next biggest company, like that's not WWE, you know, like I don't know how to word it, like the company, like the biggest company outside of the WWE is what I meant. Like she's signed with them now. She's an active member on the roster.
She just had a great match with Riho
at Double or Nothing.
Exactly.
It was a really good match.
It was a really good match. So I'll have something from like a different year. Every show, so every Thursday, and then we're always going to end it with like a question of the week that we'll end up putting on Twitter, and then once we get our Instagram up and running, we'll have it on Instagram as well. So then like we can read those answers for the next show and then have another question and so on and so forth, kind of get like an audience participation because we want to interact with everybody in some way, shape, or form.
Yes,
Especially
we
if you
do.
can't make it to the live chats.
Yeah, that's true. So, like, don't think you're completely missing out.
Yeah, you're not
if you
missing
don't
out
make
fully.
it live.
Don't worry. But the main thing I kind of wanted to talk about today, NWA, women's pay-per-view. It's called NWA Empower with 3 R's. So it's based off of their show, like NWA Power with 3 R's.
Yeah, but Empower.
Yeah, but Empower because women fucking love women. I do. Like, actually.
I think the saddest thing though is that because it is the NWA, I'm not trying to like, bash on it, but I just think because it's not as big as the WWE, it's not being like as talked about as like shit, I just hit the mic again. It's not being as talked about as when Evolution was announced, for example, like everyone was talking about it. Like some people probably still don't know there's gonna be an all women's pay-per-view.
Well, now they will.
Well, like yeah, but like before then.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
It's just crazy to know.
It's very shitty that it's not talked about a lot because like let me give the premise of this. It was announced by Mickie James, who was released in WWE back in June. She's going to be a producer for the pay-per-view, and she's also going to be wrestling on the pay-per-view. And it's going to be August 28th in St. Louis. That's actually, I think they're having another pay-per-view as well that same weekend. But I will say this, if you're going to watch this pay-per-view, don't illegally stream it. Please. Buy it. Like, this is going to be the first NWA pay-per-view I buy, personally, because I'm going to show my support for these women who can kick ass and have a very successful pay-per-view. And if you buying the pay-per-view is showing that you support women's wrestling, and it shows like actual numbers to the companies that they're actually doing something and you're buying it. If you illegally stream it,
it shows that you believe in it and you got like their backs, like it's not like so people can't downplay it, like no one cares about women's wrestling, like so you can kind of like that's kind of like it's backup, to show like people do care about it just as much as men's wrestling. People pay attention to it. It is just as big, and if not, it can be bigger than men's wrestling.
And like if you illegally stream it, that's doing nothing. That's hurting them, if anything. So get a friend, however much it is, split it down the middle. You both fucking pay for it. Everyone watches it. Everyone watches some badass women have some dope matches, and you support it. I mean, everyone talks shit on Evolution, the all women's WWE pay-per-view, and it's said how it's the lowest rated whatever fucking pay-per-view in WWE history, which is fucking bullshit, by the way.
I'm like, first of all, Evolution was good.
It was fantastic.
Not only was it like just the fact of how historic it is, that's just one thing alone. But the actual pay-per-view was fantastic.
Like, I'm gonna pull up the card right now, so keep talking.
Oh, well, I thought you said wait. Did you say stop talking?
Keep talking. I'm gonna look at the card.
Said stop. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I'll stop. But yeah, like the fact that it was still a really good pay-per-view, and the fact I've seen a lot worse pay-per-views come out of the WWE. So for people to say that it is the worst rated or the worst pay-per-view out there because it's just a women's pay-per-view, that is absolute lies.
It's bullshit.
The only problem that I had with that pay-per-view is I just personally thought that Charlotte and Becky should have main evented over Rousey and Nikki Bella.
I mean, that's fair.
Because I'm like, no offense, like I guess like Ronda Rousey kind of had part to do with the fact that like that it happened in the first place, but the fact that like Nikki Bella, like I know she contributed a lot to the women's division, but like she hadn't even been there and stuff, like there was women who had been working, to the buildup of it, and I think Becky and Charlotte, especially after their debut in 2015, have just been skyrocketing. Especially that was the same year as Becky's heel turn, no? She turned heel to SummerSlam that same year. It was in August and October.
2018 is when this happened.
Yeah, so that same SummerSlam, Becky turned heel on Charlotte, and everybody was like loved it. Everyone was behind it. So I feel like that should. And then it was the last woman standing match. I think back that should have been the main event, but that was the only problem.
So
and this was just like a personal opinion.
let me read this
really
card.
Good.
Let me read this card. There was a battle royal. So I'm just gonna name everyone quickly. Asuka, Naomi, Nia Jax, Carmella, Ember Moon, both the Iconics, Sonya Deville, shout out, Mandy Rose, Lana, Selena Vega, Tamina, Dana Brooke, Tori Wilson, Michelle McCool, Alundra Blaze, Ivory, Molly Holly, Kelly, and Maria Kanellis. And the winner of that received a future women's championship match. I can't remember who won off the top of my head. I just found the card.
Jax did.
Probably. I just found the card. I didn't find who actually won because I was just trying to get it quickly. Then we had a 6-woman tag match. So Natalya, Sasha Banks, and Bayley taking on the entirety of the Riot Squad. So Sarah Logan included. A tag team match. Mickie James and Alicia Fox with Alexa Bliss in their corner taking on Trish and Lita.
I was so upset because Alexa Bliss was supposed to be in that
Alexa
match.
was supposed to be in it, but she got injured. Yeah, still sad.
Yeah, I was pretty upset. But her gear was probably the best of the night, though, despite not even wrestling.
Amazing.
It was like the Alice in Wonderland one with the black
all 3 of them had Alice in Wonderland inspired gear. Mickie, Alicia, and Alexa.
Oh, I didn't, because Mickie was the Mad Hatter, right?
No, I think
or the Queen of Hearts. Fuck, I don't remember.
I think Mickie was Queen of Hearts, Alicia was probably Mad Hatter, and Bliss was Alice.
You're right. Yeah, I believe that's how it was.
Then we got the final of the Mae Young Classic, Toni Storm versus Io Shirai.
Io Shirai. That one was fantastic. That match was incredible.
Exactly. Then we got Kairi Sane taking on Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's Championship.
Back when Shayna Baszler was a fucking threat.
We're not going to talk about Shayna Baszler. It's a very sad story.
I know. Touchy subject. For the SmackDown Women's Championship last woman standing match, we had Becky Lynch, who was the champion. The real main event, as Paul Heyman says, the real main event.
The actual main event. Becky taking on Charlotte. And then for the Raw Women's Championship, we had Nikki Bella taking on Ronda Rousey. So tell me where in all of those names how that pay-per-view was bad.
Or the worst.
Or,
like, it may not have been
the
the best pay-per-view, but it was far from the worst.
Not the worst in any way, shape, or form. So it's bullshit.
Yeah, like, not even close. Like, it wasn't, like, the bottom, like, the bottom tier. Like,
I mean...
like, how they have, like, those ranking systems, like, the tiers?
Yeah.
Where that people do, like, different, anything on. If they did one on WWE pay-per-views, it would definitely not be in the below one.
No.
Like, the below average one.
And if you can find a way without being a toxic fan and tell me why you think it's the worst WWE pay-per-view ever, I will listen. But if you're going to be toxic and shitty about it, then no, I'll ignore you completely and I'll block you. But back to NWA. I went on a nice little tangent. Yes. Welcome to the show, folks. I do that sometimes. The actual reason we're talking about this. So, I was going to say, let's just do some fantasy booking to kind of close this out because we're already close to an hour.
Oh shit.
That's okay. If we go over, it's okay, bro. It's first episode. Like I said, it's people are gonna whether they're gonna enjoy this or they're not. So it's okay.
Okay. And I'm like, all right, if you say so.
So I'll read off the NWA women's roster, and then some of the most recent WWE releases. So, because by then their 30 days will be up, more than likely, give or take. So, Camille is the NWA Women's Champ. Then we have Thunder Rosa, Mickie James, Melina, Kylie Ray, who has returned to wrestling.
I was gonna say, I'm like, what happened to her? I know she had left AEW, and then she was supposed to show up on Impact, but didn't. I know there's some controversy behind that.
Yeah, I mean, I never, dug into it. I know a lot of it was, also mental health stuff, so more power to her for stepping away. Like, she stepped away from, everything. So more power to her, honestly.
Yeah. I'm not trying to shit on her. I'm just saying I believe there was, some controversy that she got behind that.
Yeah. I vaguely remember, but then at the same time, I have no idea. Then there's Taryn Terrell, who was a knockout in Impact for a while. Skye Blue, and then Genocide.
Genocide, nice. That's my favorite. She's my favorite now, automatically.
So that's...
I don't watch NWA.
That's the thing. Neither do I, just because, again, no time to watch more wrestling. I'm busy.
I know. I'm
But,
I'm
like,
not ready to give up New Japan.
It's a very small roster, right? So there's no way you can have just a pay-per-view with those women. No.
That's it?
That's when I found that's their entire women's roster. They don't have a very big roster in general. Like, when I looked it up, it didn't seem like there was a lot of guys either.
I want to say, I'm like, fuck, we thought the WWE women's roster was small.
Yeah. This is...
Well, I guess fantasy booking means that you can do the impossible and have WWE work with others, so...
Well, it's probably not going to be, like, current WWE, but WWE releases both the Iconics, so Peyton Royce and Billie Kay,
Yes.
Ruby Riott, Santana Garrett, Chelsea
I just
Green.
can't believe Ruby Riott's gone. I can't, like, I almost got shocked. I almost corrected you for a second when you said Ruby Riott.
I was gonna say, try and fight me. Try and fight me on this.
No, it's not that you're wrong. It's just I forgot she got released. I forgot that actually happened. Like,
it's
the fuck?
shitty. It's so shitty. Santana Garrett, Chelsea Green, Lana, Thea Trinidad.
Actually, well, I'll let you. Or is that it? Or like, did you?
Those are the most recent WWE releases.
So I'm gonna say you said Chelsea Green, and she posted on Instagram today, I think, like on her story or something. She said 2 weeks out or something like that. Like, so I'm like, oh, she's probably gonna come back to wrestling soon. Her 90-day clause might be up soon.
Yeah,
or maybe
I
she's
said
recovering
30.
from injury. I don't know.
meant 90. Whatever. You guys know what I mean.
But all I know is that maybe she'll make an appearance. Like, maybe she'll, like, her return to wrestling will be at that pay-per-view.
Yeah, I mean, I think Impact was doing something on her tonight when they were. I don't know. I saw something about it on Twitter.
She probably already returned, and we don't even know.
I don't think she returned. I think it was just like looking back at her past with Impact, maybe teasing that she's gonna go there. But Matt brings up a good point. Working relationship with AEW and Impact.
You can bring a lot of wrestlers from AEW, especially, like, you know, now that Thunder Rosa and, like, Serena Deeb are kind of like the intersecting bridge. Like, wrestlers. Yeah, the bridge. There you go. Like, they're like the ones who are like with both, or like have been with both.
Yeah.
So I would love to see Thunder Rosa. I think, like, it would be cool to see a triple threat team. Thunder Rosa, Camille is the champion.
Yes.
Like, and Serena Deeb, you know, the current champion, the person she won the championship from, and then the person that the former champion won the championship from. A triple threat for the NWA Women's Championship.
I'm stealing Matt's main event because he's not on the show, but I'm giving him credit. Matt from Smack and Raw. Okay. The main event I want, because I agree 100%, Camille taking on Deonna Purrazzo, who is the Impact Women's Champion.
Women's Champion, yeah.
Taking on Britt Baker, the AEW Women's Champion. That should be your main event. If you're gonna bring women from other companies,
would the titles be on the line, yes or no?
Fuck no.
That's
too much happening.
Now I was like, not just that, but I'm like, there's only room for one current belt collector, okay?
That's just a lot happening, especially for like all three belts.
Yeah,
but
I think that's the case.
That should be the main event.
Before, you know, yeah, and I agree, but I think what needs to happen before, for sure, is Purrazzo versus Britt Baker.
Yes, 100%.
That has to happen before then. I feel like.
I mean,
it's kind of like it.
There needs to be, so like looking at this roster and like looking at everything, there's a possibility for some really good matches.
Yeah.
Like Mickey and Melina taking on the Iconics.
Yeah.
Like that would
would
dope.
Be pretty good.
That's like the past versus like the present.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
That would be good.
Like,
I'm trying to think of who else, like, from releases.
Yeah, so Iconics, Ruby, Santana, Lana, Chelsea, Thea.
I feel like someone can definitely make their debut at least, like, or at least their return in, but like not everyone at once, you know. There can't be like, oh, this person's here, oh, but look, this person's here, and then this one. No, like, no, it's got at least one debut.
Even if, like, so say it's like the debut of like the Iconics. Say the NWA takes the Iconics. Great decision for them. So say that's the debut, but then they bring other people in, so from Impact, from AEW, just as like the one-offs. So like the Britt, Deonna, Camille. have.
I do have a question though. It's just I needed to look up like the name because I know the name, but I don't know like the spelling to pronounce it. I don't even know the pronunciation. It's gonna be so fucking hard for me to say, so I'm gonna butcher this. But for that main event, how would you feel about adding the Stardom champion, Utami Hayashishita? I think I completely butchered that, but she's the current Stardom champion. So like a fatal 4-way for swords.
I wouldn't be mad at that because that's Stardom's all women, like Yoshi, right?
Yeah,
like
it's
Yoshi
it's an all women's promotion.
Yeah,
Stardom, and it's Japanese wrestling, so you know you're gonna get something good.
Velvet Skye does commentary for NWA as well. I didn't know that.
Well, I didn't know that. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe you could have like not like releases like Thea Trinidad, like young wrestlers who have so much potential.
Yeah.
But like if there's like women who aren't really working with or affiliation with the WWE, they can do commentary. Like they can do like kind of like I think Michael Cole did commentary and he was with Renee and Beth Phoenix. I think it should have been all women. Like I think Renee should have been like the main commentator, like where Michael Cole is, and then have like Beth Phoenix and like Paige or something.
Yeah.
But like I was like, why is Michael here? Why is he here?
I don't know. Oh, I mean, you could, like Matt said, you can do Camille and then the Stardom champ taking on Deanna and Britt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because instead of just having it a fatal 4,
because the Stardom champ. I'm not gonna butcher her name again because I don't want to disrespect her. That's just
fair.
I already feel bad. This is why like recapping in Japan's kind of scary because I still am self-conscious about pronunciation.
You're gonna be okay.
But anyways, the thing, she was her championship match, her recent one, I believe, was the first women's match to get a higher than a 5-star rating by Dave Meltzer. It was like 5.14 stars or something like that. Something like that, like 5 stars and like a fourth or something like that. It was like higher than 5 stars. Wow. And, you don't see that often, especially from women. It's mostly like, it's not like everyone expects like Kenny Omega to have like the 5-star matches or like higher. So the fact that it was like the first women's match, and it wasn't WWE, it wasn't really like mainstream wrestling. It wasn't like AEW, it wasn't WWE, it wasn't Impact. It came from a Japanese wrestling promotion that's not as well known to the people of North America, and I think that's incredible. And it just goes to show that women's wrestling, not just here but everywhere, is not going unnoticed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like Dave Meltzer.
She said Meltzer. Oh well.
I mean, I'm personally not a fan, as aren't a lot of people, just because he's whatever. But the fact that
Jim Cornette. I'm just kidding.
Oh my god, everyone clicks off immediately. Shit.
No, I know.
Everyone stay, please.
Sorry.
No, she's just saying names. Stop.
It was a joke, just like him.
There we go. No, I mean, I don't, like I said, I don't like Dave, but that is very interesting that would be one of the first to get you said the first
women's match to get a higher rating than 5 stars.
I mean, clearly it was good then. I mean,
it was fan.
I'm not gonna say
the match. It was fantastic.
Okay. I was gonna say, I'll trust you. I was gonna say, I'm not gonna go back and watch it because, again, I don't fucking time. But that's besides the point.
Yeah.
So, I mean, doing stuff like that, you could honestly have... Oh, God, now I'm blanking on, like... Ooh, okay. Anna Jay, when she's cleared, and Tay Conti...
versus the Iconics.
Okay, yeah.
I was like, I thought that's what you were gonna say.
Well, they just talked about that on Renee's podcast.
Oh.
Because the Iconics are taking over for, like, the day or something. And then they interviewed Anna and Tay. Just because, Renee just had the baby and all that.
Yeah.
I was thinking more like them taking on, like... See, I don't know a lot of these women, but, like... Hell, Thunder Rosa, Kylie Rae.
Or even if Kylie Rae, as a former AEW wrestler, goes up against another AEW wrestler, like Thunder Rosa. You just said that, but like...
Well, how about Kylie versus Anna Jay?
Yeah.
Kylie versus Sheeta.
Or or Kylie versus Riho.
Yeah. There's a lot of ways you could do that. I mean, having
Yeah.
Sheeta show up, take on T, Britt, Nyla, I feel like that would be very interesting to see. Oh, no wait, you know who needs to be brought into this pay-per-view? Gail fucking Kim.
That's true. I feel like she could challenge any one of the women we mentioned for a title match and like have that shit go fantastically.
Because Gail Kim does not get her flowers.
She should challenge Deonna Purrazzo for
That'd be fucking dope.
the
I feel like weren't they teasing that, or was I hallucinating?
I don't know. I don't watch Impact.
Okay, neither do I. That's what I was just saying.
I'm like, I gotta find someone who does.
Kylie versus Abaddon. The contrast. That would be terrifying.
Like...
That'd actually be kind of cool. I'd be down.
Kylie versus...
Because Kylie's all happy, sunshine, rainbows.
I know,
Bailey.
because of, like, AEW's relationship with Impact as well as the relationship with NWA, I feel like it's kind of separate, but I feel like that's a way they can bring, like, the relationship together.
Yeah.
Because, like, we had, like, Thunder Rosa come from NWA, and same with Serena Deeb, and then you had, like, Impact. So far, it's just been, like, the Good Brothers and stuff. But, like, bringing in, like, the women, like, I feel like could be a way to really expand the relationship between these other wrestling companies.
Mm-hmm.
And with that being said, I think Rosemary from Impact, I've seen her, like, twice, only because, again, the couple times I would watch for Kenny, she kind of has, like, the same, like... darker,
undead.
Like, yeah,
yep.
Gimmick, just like Abaddon. So I would like to see that.
Rosemary vs. Abaddon, that match would be dope. I like that this has just become fantasy booking for women in general.
I know, right?
That's okay. I mean, hell, who knows? It could happen on this pay-per-view.
This is why I hate that WWE refuses to work with others, because I was gonna say Taya Valkyrie could, like, challenge for the Impact Championship, because I know she has, but
yeah.
like at this pay-per-view, but like, again, she's now Frankie Monet, she's in NXT, and they don't play with others,
They don't play well with others. How did
or
I just
with others at all.
Jesus. Yeah, I mean, Jordan Grace, Jesus, is over there in Impact. Her versus Nyla. That'd be like
good.
That'd be strength for strength. That'd be kind of cool. God, there's so many. Like, there's, like, looking at all of the rosters in your head at one time, it's kind of overwhelming.
I know, like, you're bound to forget someone. I would want to see Jade Cargill challenge for one of the titles, like whether it's either the Impact title or the NWA title. I don't know, like,
cool.
Like the women, the AEW one's just, it's a little too soon, but I feel like if she can at least challenge for the NWA or the Impact one, I think that would be really cool.
That'd be interesting to see. She is extremely new, so yeah, it definitely wouldn't be AEW, but
or someone who I would like. I don't know what's the deal with this person at all, but it would be cool to see Tessa Blanchard show up.
Don't put that evil out there. Stop. Don't.
I'm just saying. Saying.
Stop
It would make for a moment.
Don't. Listen, you know how happy I got when I found out she wasn't Diamond Mine? Don't put that evil out there. If it happens, I'm blaming you.
Go ahead. It's fine. I'll take the brunt.
You'll just get, like, a random text and be like, "How dare you?"
I'm just gonna get middle fingers all around.
Yeah, Jade Cargill versus Camille. Who else? Oh my god, like, AEW women. That's what I'm trying to think right now.
WWE had so many shows. They're lucky to face each other across shows they have. UK versus NXT is rare enough, and they're not even the main roster. I know, but still, like, it's still within the WWE. Like, I know, I've said it before. I've seen this, like, match, like, this fantasy graphic someone made.
Mm-hmm.
It was for Survivor Series, and it, the traditional 5-on-5 match.
Yeah.
It had AJ Styles, Finn Balor, Triple H, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and Hangman Page. No, I don't think don't think the Young Bucks were in there. I don't think they were. It was Cody Rhodes, Hangman Page, Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho, and some fifth person I'm blanking on. But all I know is that it was like the 5-on-5, and then it was a fantasy graphic, but it said like losing team joins the winning company. That shit would be fucking cool.
That'd be insane.
You would be on the edge of your seat. You would be biting your nails, especially to fix this whole WWE versus AEW thing that fans like to fucking talk about no matter what's happening. Like, they could, like, you know, someone could just post a freaking picture, like a wrestler, like Charlotte Flair could post a picture in one of her shirts, and they'll be like, well, AEW's better. You should go with Andrade and go to AEW. Like, leave her alone, you know? Like, this
toxicity.
Has nothing to do with working.
Leave her the fuck alone.
This has nothing to do with working in the WWE. She's just posting a picture with someone has to bring it up.
With her mans.
Again. Someone has to bring it up. Someone has to talk about it. Someone has to say the other company's better. Oh, someone has to say WWE's like there's always that one person.
Yep, always.
It's just got to be there to do that.
Yeah, that's neither here nor there.
100%. I'd love to see it. Yeah, I would, especially that fantasy that match graphic. I was like, oh, like I melted. I was like, oh my god, that's perfect. I'm trying to think who that fifth person was. Though. I don't remember.
Well, I mean, you could honestly do like a Survivor Series type match. So you could have the
even like, if anything, I know it's not the best concept. Like, I know some people like don't really like bragging rights, but that would be perfect to use the pay-per-view bragging rights, because you know, if your team wins, well, guess what you have.
Well, I'm talking more so for like this women's pay-per-view. You could honestly have like, I mean, that would use like basically all of their women, but
here's the thing though, if WWE actually played well with others and they could get involved in this match,
never will.
How cool would it be to have the women's tag team titles on the line and actually have like a team outside of the WWE win them? So then you can like get a working relationship with the other brand that they won the titles from.
But that's the problem here. WWE's never going to play well with others.
It's fantasy booking, Katie.
Listen, I can also get close to the mic, Savannah. Stop it.
Fantasy booking. Let me be, okay? Let me dream on.
For all the people who like ASMR, you're welcome.
Sorry.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but like that's why it's fantasy booking. So like it would be cool to see. Like honestly.
I would love to see anyone from WWE show up at this.
I was gonna say, because just because WWE doesn't know how to book their women doesn't mean they don't have talented women. So imagine if like fucking Naomi shows up and like challenges Britt Baker to like just a one-on-one match, you know?
Yeah. Okay, so Mickey has a match, right? And she's the producer, executive producer.
Yes.
One-on-one, who should she go against? That'll be the last thing we talk about.
Like, I don't know exactly, like, if I have an answer of who's like, that's the person they should. Again, this is the fantasy booking in me. Like, this is the fantasy I'm living in. But I would like to see her face Trish Stratus, because she had, like, a very iconic feud with Trish Stratus. So I think at an all-women's pay-per-view, it would be cool to see them square up again.
Yeah. I mean, I have always had, like, a deep love for Mickey versus Trish. I mean, I like, especially when they do like the women's rumble, they always end up having like a moment together, just the two of them.
Yeah.
But looking at this, so I'll do someone from NWA, someone from AEW, because I'm assuming or hoping they'll have a working relationship, and then someone from Impact, just to have 3 different options.
Yeah.
So I think Mickey versus Thunder Rosa would be dope. Mickey versus Hikaru Shida would be cool. And then Mickey versus Gail Kim from Impact.
That would be good. Gail Kim. Okay. So from NWA, I was actually gonna say Mickey versus Serena Deeb.
Okay, fair.
And
even though she's technically AEW.
Yeah, but like she was a former. Yeah, leave her alone. I'm gonna say Serena Deeb. AEW, I'm gonna say, probably either Riho or Tai Conti.
I was also kind of thinking Taekwondo, yeah.
And then, all I'm gonna say is WWE royally messed up with her by letting her go.
True.
But that's all I gotta say. And then with Impact, I don't really know Impact. I don't really watch
you want me to
it.
pull up Impacts? Roster?
Yes, and let me just try, like, while you do that, I'm
Okay.
gonna try and think off the top of my head.
Impact.
Because again, I don't really watch Impact. Like, all I know is like Rosemary. I know like
Okay,
Ellie Moon or something like that. I could be fucking wrong about the name. Because I don't want to say the same as you. Because like I know Gail Kim, but like
Gail Kim, because Gail Kim would be dope. We know.
I know, but like I'm saying women's roster.
Oh my god, this is just taking forever to load now. Stop hitting the mic.
I know. Hold on, I got it.
Oh, did you find one? Okay, good. Because my computer's kind of slow.
Ooh, Mickey versus Tennille Dashwood would be pretty cool.
Yeah, Mickey versus Emma. Yep.
Yeah, I'm like, she goes by Tennille Dashwood.
Yeah, she's still always gonna be Emma in my heart.
With the bubbles and doing the dance.
Yeah, actually, she had like some match. She beat Carmella on NXT this day. And like however long ago. No, we're not gonna say that other thing you told me.
No.
No,
I'm not going to.
But yeah, I do remember seeing that like when I was trying to find the Serena Deeb stuff, that she had a match against Carmella with Dana Brooke in her corner. Throwback.
Oh yeah, when she debuted, Dana Brooke debuted with her, like on the main roster.
Yeah, well, like even back in NXT they were together.
Yeah, I remember that.
Is your phone charging? Is your
Shit,
iPad
it's
charging?
My laptop. No, it's my laptop. I think I'm messing with the plug. Hold on.
I can hear it, and I got really confused.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I know. I was thinking, like, is that me? But I'm like, shit, my charger might be broken then.
Uh-oh.
These laptop chargers aren't cheap, so I hope that's not the case.
True. But yeah, that's our fantasy booking of NWA Empower.
And what we would like to see.
What we would love to see.
Even though it's not likely possible with the WWE stuff.
That's why it's called fantasy booking.
I know.
Fantasy booking. I hate that I keep going to the mic. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to everybody. So I'll leave that as our question of the week, I guess.
Like, what would you like to see for? What
are some of your dream or fantasy booking matches? Whatever, however you want to phrase it. I'll phrase it better on Twitter. What matches do you want to see for NWA Empower? Because we said ours. I know Matt's because I stole his.
And now we want to know yours.
Atta girl. So, until next Thursday, of course, I'm Katie Bebe. This is my lovely co-host, Y2 Garcia, Savannah. Do you have a preference on what you want me to call you?
You can call me Savannah or Y2. Like, when you at least introduce me, like, I hit the mic again. We need to count how many times we fucking hit the mic.
I'll start.
When you like first, like in the intros, like you can call me Y2 Garcia, but when like you ask me like, oh, like what do you think, you could just say my name. You don't have to say, oh, what do you think, Y2 Garcia? Like, no,
yeah, because that'd be weird for me because I only call you Savannah.
Exactly. I'm like, you know me as my name, you know.
So for Katie Baby, for the lovely Savannah, this has been the debut of the ShElite showcase.
We hope you enjoyed.
Yeah.
Because this was really fun. I was nervous, but not anymore.
Look at that. She did fantastic, guys. I'm telling you. But
not as fantastic as Katie, though, because Katie's the best.
Stop. Say my name. Matt? I don't know.
Smacking it raw.
There you go. That's a perfect way to end it. I still have the old outro from the show. From like the original Smack Draw podcast show. So until I make a new outro, bye-bye.
I know. Enjoy this one.